Main eventing WrestleMania, arguably the most prestigious thing you can do in professional wrestling. I would argue that winning the World Championship is slightly above, but main eventing WrestleMania is just below it. If you wanted to put it at number one, I would have no issue with that. Obviously now WrestleMania is 2 nights. There is a debate to be had. Is main eventing night 1 just as prestigious as main eventing night 2? Does it still count as a main event? Does it still classify on the same level? I tend to agree, yes, it does. It does count as a main event. Is it as prestigious? Not quite. I think main eventing night 2 is ultimately the true main event. But attending a WrestleMania in a 2-night format, which I have done, once you leave night 1, it feels like a completely different show than night 2. It does feel like 2 different events. Obviously, they're connected in ways, but it does feel like a main event. Mine personally, I went to WrestleMania 38, so I had seen Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens in the main event. That absolutely felt like I watched a main event of a show. Then on to the next night, I seen Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. That kind of felt like it was supposed to be the main event of the whole weekend. Obviously, that match was a dud. But in the end, it was still the ultimate main event in my perspective. And I think a lot of people's perspective. But I'm not throwing any shade at night 1 main events. To be honest with you, if you look at night 1 main events versus night 2 in terms of match quality, since we've switched this format, I would argue the night 2 matches have not been as good. Right? WrestleMania 36, the first one. Boneyard match goes on night 1, Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar goes night 2. I think the Boneyard match was just straight up better. WrestleMania 37, Bianca and Sasha night 1. Night 2 is Edge, Daniel Bryan, Roman. I would edge that to the triple threat for the undisputed WWE Championship. WrestleMania 38, I had just mentioned, I think Stone Cold's Kevin Owens had a better match. WrestleMania 39, the tag match with the Usos, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, or Roman Reigns, Cody, the one where Cody is unsuccessful. You could argue either way there. WrestleMania 40, we saw the tag match with Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman. Night 2, we get the ultimate match where Cody wins the WWE title. It goes hand in hand. So night 1 main events have certainly, they've been quality. They're not low quality. They truly feel like they belong. They truly feel like they were main event matches. So with that being said, what is going to main event night 1 this year at WrestleMania 41? There's a conversation to be had because I see some speculation online. Some people are pushing for the World Heavyweight Championship. Some people are pushing for Charlotte versus Tiffany. I even seen some people with Bianca, Iyo, Rhea, if that's the direction they go. Obviously, the triple threat. I'm going to talk about why I think each match should or maybe shouldn't main event night 1. Night 2 main event, I assume, is Cody versus John Cena. I would be shocked if that doesn't go on last. To me, that's what the whole show's going to be about. It's going to tie into that. It's going to be the build to that. The build to that's going to be tremendous. We all know that. Cena's heel turn was perfect. That story is compelling. I think that has night 2 locked up. So now the conversation. Every other match that is going to fall on the WrestleMania card, to me, is vying for the spot to main event night 1. Every other match could fall there. So with that being said, you have to have the conversation. The 2 Royal Rumble winners, Charlotte Flair, Jey Uso. Charlotte versus Tiffany Stratton. I don't see this having a shot to main event. I truly don't. I don't think the story's there. I don't think the match is there. The match is going to be great. It just doesn't feel big enough. It truly doesn't. I just don't think that's it. Jey Uso versus Gunther. That could main event night 1. I could see that happening. I think that might be telling to what happens night 2. Right? Because if Jey Uso closes night 1 as the World Heavyweight Champion, John Cena closes night 2, we get the big celebration night 1. Night 2 is kind of more of a downer segment, right? Once Cena walks out as WWE Champion. But with that being said, I think Jey Uso kicking off night 1 is just what it's going to be. The first match of the weekend. The first match of WrestleMania. I think Jey Uso is going to capture the World Heavyweight Championship. So I don't really see Jey Uso going on last. He is main event Jey Uso after all, though. Right? So if they wanted to put him on last, he did win the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't have an issue with it either. I just don't feel like Gunther versus Jey needs to go on last. I don't feel like the value is there quite yet. I think Jey starting the night off, getting the yeet going, getting the celebration, kick WrestleMania off with a bang is the perfect option to go. Now, with that being said, we do have the Women's World Championship. Right now, it looks like it's going to be Bianca versus Iyo. Right? But Rhea's kind of sticking her head in this. You would have to imagine she's going to be involved some way or another. I had said previously last week, I think Bianca versus Rhea one-on-one could be the main event of night 2 if they wanted to, if they told the proper story. That's why I was a little nervous prior to the Elimination Chamber that I thought Bianca was going to walk out as the winner of the Elimination Chamber. At the time, I thought Rhea was going to beat Iyo Sky. No issues. I thought they were doing Rhea versus Bianca this year. The reason I wasn't a fan of that is because I think those two deserve a longer story, not just you won the number 1 contendership and now you're getting the women's world title match at WrestleMania. I wanted true story with them. Now, obviously I was wrong, and now we're starting to get a little bit of story, right? Bianca cost her the women's world championship. Bianca's somewhat walking the line. I think the heel turn's going to come after WrestleMania. I would imagine she's walking out as the women's world champion. Whether Rhea gets added or Rhea doesn't, I think Bianca's walking out. Right? She has the undefeated streak at WrestleMania. I think her and Jade are going to feud following WrestleMania. Once Jade is either acknowledges Bianca just moved on without her, right? She just let Naomi step up, replace her. Even now, she's got the whole issue going on, and Bianca's just kind of taking care of herself. Obviously, she did have the segment with Naomi, but not much is going on with Jade and Bianca. So that feud is coming, and I think Bianca's going to turn still. Maybe Bianca turns in this match. Maybe she officially does something heel-like, cheats, some sort of heelish tactics at WrestleMania, and then that solidifies her as a heel. If that's what's going to happen, that could main event. Right? If you want to end it with a boom, with something like that, no issues. Because as I mentioned, I think Bianca versus Rhea versus Iyo Sky, if they do decide to go triple threat, match of the weekend. That should be the best match of the card. AJ Styles, Logan Paul might have something to say about it. Now, Rhea's not even officially added yet. So with that being said, if they decide to just go the direction of the one-on-one, they decide they want to keep Bianca and Rhea away from each other in terms of an actual competitive match until next year's WrestleMania, I don't have an issue with that. I think that is a story that needs to be told. As I mentioned, I want to see a proper build. So I would not be shocked if Rhea gets left out. Now, if Rhea does get left out, obviously you have to have the conversation. Who else would she face? That's where it doesn't make sense. That's why I think she's going to get added. I don't really see somebody else on the card. I don't see within the title pictures where Rhea fits in. She does have her nose in this business, so I think we are going to get the triple threat. I think that is one of two options to main event WrestleMania Night 1. I think Iyo Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship could absolutely go on there. We haven't had women main event WrestleMania since WrestleMania 37 Night 1. So it's been 4 years. They're due. If they want to put it on now, no problem. Now, with that being said, the other triple threat, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. I think this ultimately should main event Night 1. If the favor is going to play a role here. We still don't know what the favor is. We're still wondering. We still don't know if WWE knows. We don't know if the favor is to get the main event. We don't know what direction this is going to go. But you would have to imagine, after Raw, with the look Roman gave Punk when Paul Heyman was hugging on Punk, you have to imagine the favor's coming. The favor was put on the back burner for a couple months following War Games. I don't think so anymore. I think it's heating up. I think we're going to get the answer at the latest WrestleMania. I think it should be clear. Maybe Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns. Maybe he helps CM Punk win. Maybe that's what the favor is. Maybe it's to get the main event, as I said. I'm not really sure. But I know this. I know this match. At first, I had issues. I didn't want to see it because I thought one-on-one matches would just be bigger here. I thought more was less. Less was more. Right? I thought if we went CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, that would just be bigger. If we went Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, that would just be bigger. If they wanted to end CM Punk and Seth Rollins' feud at WrestleMania, fine. One-on-one, do it. I was on board with all that. At first, I didn't like the triple threat. Until last night on Raw. Once we seen that build, once we see Roman retaliate, right? Because at first it got built really at the Royal Rumble. We seen Punk eliminate both of them. Seth lashes out. But once we seen Roman be the one to get physical, be the one to lash out, this sold me. I'm ready for this match. And I think CM Punk needs to cross this off his list. Right? If you go back even 15 years ago, he wanted the WrestleMania main event more than anything. Obviously, he walks out of the company. He's gone for 10 years from the WWE. He's gone from professional wrestling for 7.5 years. I think now's the time to pull the trigger. Because if not now, when? Right? Next year, he's just a whole nother year older. We don't know if the timing will fit. I think right now is the time to pull the trigger. And truthfully, I have no issue giving Seth Rollins another main event. I think he belongs there. He's been killing it. He's been consistent. Over the past couple years, you can make the argument he was the best wrestler in the world. Roman Reigns, it's going to be weird to not see him in the Night 2 main event. I cannot be the only one to think that. It would be even more weird to not see him in any main event at all. If he doesn't main event Night 1 or Night 2, man, that would feel weird. The last decade, he's controlled the main events, if you think about it. He's been the mainstay, for the most part. And especially since he's been the tribal chief, he has locked down the main event of WrestleMania. If he does not main event Night 1, he's obviously not main event Night 2. That would feel weird. It really would. But with that being said, we had seen guys like Undertaker when he was at his peak, right? The streak was running. He had all the aura of WrestleMania. He didn't main event every year. And that's not something that needs to happen. You don't need to be in the main event. But I do think with this story, with the favor, one of the most compelling things in the WWE right now, the favor. How does it tie in? Does Punk get Paul Heyman to turn? I think that does belong to go on last, if they want to put it on last. But here's my only issue. I want this match to have stakes. I know they all have personal vendettas against each other. 3 different ways. They all have real issues with each other. They all want each other's head. But I want stakes on this. What I think this match should be, especially if it main events Night 1, the winner gets a WWE Championship match. Or if you want to do the World Heavyweight Championship, fine, whatever. They get the World Championship match of their choosing. I think that's the direction this should go. If this match gets stakes on it, then absolutely put it in the main event. But if we're going to do that, if we're going to put stakes on it, you got to wonder who's going to win. Even if there's not stakes on it, who is going to win this match? Naturally, Punk and Roman, you would lean towards one of them, right? And you would think Seth's there to be the fall guy. Seth's kind of there to get pinned. But I don't necessarily think that's true. I could see Punk and Roman being so worried about each other, Seth can't sneak out the win. But with that being said, how does Heyman's favor play a factor there? Then it just kind of would be non-existent. That's why I wouldn't lock in Seth winning. I wouldn't cross him off. I think there's options for both ways. CM Punk, if Paul Heyman turns and he's helping him, obviously he's got to win. But if the turn doesn't happen there, the favor's something else, he doesn't need to win. I do think Roman versus Cody 3 is certainly an option. I think that's something they're going to head towards at some point. They are 1-1. But here's my issue with that. I think John Cena's walking out WWE champion. So that's why I'm not entirely sure that we are going to get Roman Reigns to win this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't even put stakes on this. Maybe it's just a triple threat because these guys all have issues with each other. Even if that is the direction, I'm okay with that. I just feel a little weird with a triple threat with no stakes main eventing WrestleMania. Just personal vendettas. We have seen matches, obviously non-title matches, main event WrestleMania. Whether that's Night 1, that's the one night WrestleMania, whatever it is. But we don't see triple threats. Normally these multi-man matches, whether that's the Elimination Chamber, whether that's Money in the Bank, right? These things have stakes on the line. They have title opportunities. There's something up for grabs. So in order for us to just have this triple threat with personal issues, I'm not sure that demands the main event slot. I'm not sure that should lock down the absolute closer of the show because there's no stakes. Something weird about a triple threat with no stakes just doesn't feel like it should main event WrestleMania. Maybe I'm alone. Maybe the match is just that big. Maybe the stars in it, the characters in it, the wrestlers in it demand the main event, and that's it. Maybe I'm wrong. In the end, I do think this match is going to main event night one. I think right now it is between Jey Uso and Gunther, or this triple threat, or Bianca, Rhea, Iyo. I do think Jey and Gunther are a little more down on the possibility list because I think they're going night one to open the show. So with that being said, I think right now the night one main event is going to be a triple threat, one way or another, which is something that they kind of try to avoid, right? They don't typically put multiple triple threats on a pay-per-view, on a PLE, right? That's not something they typically do. Normally that's reserved for one match. But since they're going both, I would imagine one's going night one, one's going night two. So right now, I think you have two true options. They're both the triple threats. One has the world championship. So if you're going to put a triple threat on that does not have stakes on it, does not have title on it, I'm not sure how you can completely justify that main eventing the show. So look for stakes to be added to Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. And I think that will be ultimately what closes night one. Guys, am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know. Is there a different match I should be considering for the night one main event? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching.